Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to the channel. You know, it's your boy Anime King, and today we're going to be doing part 8 of What If Deku Was a Saiyan. I'm going to be giving you part 8 today guys. You guys destroyed the last like goal. I asked you for 150, you guys gave me 200. So yeah, get this one to about 180 and you get in part 9 as soon as possible. Turn on that bell notification, stay posted, stay home and stay safe. And thank you all for helping out the channel. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Start the intro. So in the last part, Deku has completed the practice test and he shot past everything that Mr. Aizawa showed at him. So Mr. Aizawa decided to trick them and told them that if they didn't pass this test, they will be expelled, but it pushed all of them more harder for all of them to keep up in the exam. But after that, he told them that it was a joke. By the time the test finished, it was the end of the day. Everyone was going home. The school gate was open and students were talking amongst each other about their first day and how they feel at the school. I am so tired, Deku said as he walked through the front gate of UA. He felt very fatigued as a strong hand grabbed his shoulder. He already knew who the person was as he sensed their signature about 30 seconds before they even touched him. Deku turned around to greet Ida and asked him what's up. Before Ida could even say anything or reply, they heard someone calling, "Hey, you two, you're heading to the train station, right? Wait for us," Uraka shouted as she and Momo walked to Deku and Ida. Deku turned to see the both of them walking in the same direction and they were talking to him, and he was pretty surprised. The both girls who he liked, they are friends, he thought in his mind. Uraka decided to introduce herself to Ida, and Momo told them that she was friends with Midoriya. "And I thought we could all head to the train station together," said Uraka with a cheery voice. "Yeah, I was trying to catch up with you guys, and I thought, why not bring her along, Momo said as she smiled at Deku. "Okay, let's see if I can get this right. You're Tenai Ida," Uraka said as she pointed at Ida. "And you're Izuku Midoriya, right? Or, as your friend called you, Deku?" Deku widened his eyes as he didn't expect her to know that name. Deku? But doing the fitness test, the boy named Bakugo called Deku, right? "Oh, my real name is Izuku. Kaoshan called me that name to make fun of me." "Wait, so is that an insult?" "Well, I think that name sounds pretty good," she said in her normal cheery voice. Deku get all flustered. Pushing that aside, the group of four began to walk to the train station, talking on the way. "There are so many things I cannot do yet. I have to work hard and do my best. This is the only beginning of my journey to become a hero. But one day, All Might, I will prove myself and show you that I will become the next #1 hero," Deku thought in his head as they all walk along. The next day, everyone already arrived at school and was sitting in class. All Might came in and burst down the door in excitement. Everyone was surprised to see All Might in their class. All Might walked up to the podium and told them that he would be their teacher for today. "So kids, let's get right into it. Today we will be doing combat training," All Might said as he held a card that read the word battle. Bakugo smiled because he was happy. Finally, combat. What? Training, Deku said too, as he was so happy to finally test his, not really full power, but to test his power in one-on-one combat. Just the thought of fighting made him excited and he was shaking to the point. He knew firsthand what it was like to train with the symbol of peace, so he couldn't wait to see what exactly they would be doing next. His tail began to wag back and forth as he was happy to see what was coming next. Couple seconds, there was a lot of boxes at the doorway. They got their new hero uniform based on their requests and their kind of quirks. It was the request they sent in before school started. The students cheered at the sight of trying on their new uniforms. Costumes? Izuku said, after you kids finish training, gathering in ground beta. Yes sir, everyone shouted. A couple of seconds later, most of the students already finished changing in their uniform and started to walk out. Deku dragged behind everyone as he was a little late than everyone else. It took him a longer time to get in his costume, so he better hurried. So he dragged through the tunnel. The costume he was now wearing, he saw it in a dream once and he couldn't believe it that they made it look so real, because he only saw it once in that dream where that guy was fighting that weird guy with the finger power that destroyed the whole planet. His costume was made up of a saiyan armor with a dark blue chest plate with green stripes, and he had red cut pants with black and green boots with red armbands. He also wear white gloves. He had a red headband in his hand as he brought it up to his forehead and tied it. He has his tail wrapped around his waist. He get the costume similarity from the dream, this costume that Bardock was wearing. He looked at himself with excitement. They made it perfectly how he described it. This is my costume, he said. Oh, Deku, Uraka said once she noticed that Deku had arrived on training ground beta. Uraka? Deku said as he looked around, and the moment he saw her, his face started to turn all flustered and red. Whoa, Deku, she said in a chirpy voice. That costume looks so cool. I never seen a hero wear that before. It looks so original. That's pretty cool. I should have explained more what I wanted. They made my costume skin tight bodysuit. It's embarrassing. Mineta then looked at Deku with a weird face and said, the hero course is the best, right? As he looked at Uraka up and down at that skin tight bodysuit. All Might saw Deku's body armor and he was really impressed. All Might thought that Deku would try to copy his suit, like Deku loves All Might so much, so All Might thought that Deku would try to make a replica of his own suit. But All Might is glad that Deku is trying to find his own image and not be a blatant copy of him. All Might looked around and saw that everyone was ready, so he began to give instructions. Now it's time for combat training, he said. So kids, most of the times, fighting villains take place outside. But if you look at the numbers, villains appear indoors in the higher rate. Truly intelligent villains hide in the shadows. You will be split into villains and heroes and fight 2-on-2 indoor battles. So, how will wins and loss be determined? Momo asks. But we can beat anyone up anyway, Bakugo asks. Deku looks over at him and said, of course Bakugo would ask a question like that. And how shall we be split up? Asked Ida. All Might began to become overwhelmed as he wasn't used to being a teacher for being there and being asked a bunch of questions. I will answer all of your questions. Now listen here. All Might brought out some teaching notes. A script. All Might began to read the script. The villains had hidden the nuclear weapon and the heroes will infiltrate the place and try to get it. But if they are stopped by the villains win. If you are successful in getting back the nuclear weapon just by touching it, you will pass. Wow, this situation feels very American, Deku commented. All Might brought out a yellow box. Teams of heroes and villains will be determined by this, drawing your lots. Ida thought that the selection would be more organized, not by just picking a random name. Then Deku pointed out to him, looked at it. Really good, Ida. Remember, sometime pros just team up if they find each other on the road or if they're being attacked. It don't be like everyone have a partner, so this will be pretty good training so you can team up quickly with someone you don't know. Ida then looked towards Deku and said, yes, you're right. That's a really good explanation. Okay, let's hurry up and do this quickly, All Might said as the student went to draw their lots to see who they were paired up with. Team A, Deku and Uraka. Team B, Shoto and Soji. Team C, Momo and Mineta. Team D, Bakugo and Ida. And the rest of the team go ahead to be listed off. All Might then picked Team A and Team D to fight. Team A will be the heroes and Team D will be the villain. Deku and Bakugo both gasped as they didn't expect to fight each other so soon. Well, I guess I had to go up against Bakugo sooner or later, so we might as well get this over with. Perfect, Bakugo said. It's finally time I get that brat to myself and beat him to a little pulp. Team Villain went in first and set up. Then, some seconds later, Team Hero braked in, and the battle was on way. Ida was talking to Bakugo and trying to explain some strategies, but Bakugo wasn't listening to him. Bakugo just wanted to find Deku and beat the absolute crap out of him. Oh, I see. Bakugo is the one who made fun of you, right? Uraka said, as she remembered yesterday when Deku said that Bakugo was the one who gave him name Deku to use as an insult. Don't worry, we can win this, she said in an exciting tone. Deku looked at her and said in his mind, she's so beautiful and confident. And then his face started to get flustered again. Uraka raised a hand and said, come on Deku, let's do this. Come on everyone, All Might gather the rest of the class in the monitor room. There were screams all over the place in the monitor room so they could watch the battle unfold in front of them. Deku and Uraka was walking through the building looking for any sign of the two villains. As a huge explosion came their way, Deku managed to grab Uraka and pulled her out of the way, and the whole front wall in front of them broke down. Deku looked around and said, Uraka, are you alright? She turned and said, yes, I am. Thank you for saving me, she said. As the dust began to clear, a hand waved out of this dust, grabbed off of Deku. Deku quickly dodged and jumped back. As Bakugo shouted, come on Deku, don't dodge me, fight me like a man, he said. Deku chuckled as he stood up straight. I figured that you will come for me first. A surprise attack from the start. Bakugo, that's cheating. A surprise attack isn't manly at all, he said, angering Bakugo. Bakugo put his two hands behind him, firing at full blast, giving him a speed running towards Deku, and he aimed a right hook right into Deku's face. But before Bakugo could connect, Deku grabbed his right arm. Deku lifted him above his head and then slammed him down into the ground, and Deku stood above him. What the hell? Did he just read my move? But how? He's not supposed to be that good, Bakugo said as he slowly get off the ground. Wow, he's like a martial arts master, Uraka said as she cheered as she was impressed with Deku's counter attack. In the monitor room, everyone was surprised as they wasn't expecting Deku to move like that and so swiftly. Bakugo, Deku started to speak As Bakugo starts slowly get back up, you usually start with a big right swing. How much do you think I've been watching you? I wrote down everything you're going to do. I wrote down everything in my notebook that you blew up and threw away. What? Bakugo shouted in anger as he remembered when he threw away Aizuku's book through the window of their classroom years ago. Deku then started to talk up to Bakugo. Remember the name Deku that you call me useless or worthless? It is not going to be for that anymore. It is going to mean strong and powerful, and I am going to show you the power of Deku when I become the next symbol of hope. Because that will be my hero name. When people hear Deku, they will feel peace and warm, and when villains hear this name, they will run in coward. I will take great pride in that name until I die, Deku shouted as he powered up to 5%. One for all. The green lightning started to surround the area as it was sparking all over his body, but his aura was much more ferocious and violent due to all of the feeling that Deku was feeling at the moment and the emotions. Bakugo put his left hand behind his back as he was beginning to ignite an explosion. Deku saw what he was doing and yelled to Uraka, "Go, follow the plan." "Right," Uraka replied as she ran down the other alleyway. Bakugo fired an explosion that he used to propel him to Deku to high speeds. He aimed a roundhouse kick to Deku's face, but Deku blocked it with his right hand. Deku grabbed Bakugo's left leg and swung him with the force of One for All across the hallway as Bakugo's back hit into the wall with pain. Deku started to strategize his next move because he saw that Bakugo was changing his strategies because Deku knew how he fight already. Bakugo got back up from Deku's swing and placed both hands behind him. Deku saw what he was going to do, and quickly, as the eye could see, Deku stepped back a distance away from him to get a space between them because Deku knew that his explosion quirk was deadly in near combat. "Damn it, don't you dare run from me. Come back here, Deku," Bakugo shouted as he started to chase after him. A few minutes after playing cat and mouse of Bakugo chasing Deku around the alleyway, Bakugo saw the real Deku and think it was the real one. He sent a blast towards Deku and completely destroying everything behind him, but it wasn't the real one. It was just an after image from Deku moving so fast, and then he heard a voice behind him, "Hey, over here." But before he could turn completely, he got a solid roundhouse kick, sending him on his back. "You damn nerd, that was a cheap shot," Bakugo said as he angrily got up back on his feet. Meanwhile, Uraka has found Ida and the nuclear explosion bomb. "Found it," she said. She said in her head as she peeped around and saw Ida guarding the weapon. Uraka decided to use the earpiece that she got from All Might to contact Deku. "Deku, I found it." Deku heard in his earpiece and started to listen. Deku heard in the earpiece, "I found you," as he heard Uraka make a squeak peaking noise as Ida had found her. She managed to get out of his grasp, but she told Deku that she slipped up and he found her. Bakugo stood there and saw Deku not paying attention to him. He got mad and he looked at Deku with fire in his eyes and said, "Deku, oh, I have something for you." As he looked on his hands and the sweat on his hands make his explosion with his new equipment on his suit, the grenade launcher. Deku was surprised to see Bakugo running towards him with a speed like this was all the speed he had left into his body. Deku didn't realize that Bakugo was this fast, and Deku was caught completely off guard because he was listening to the earpiece. Bakugo ran right into Deku's face and put his arm there. Then he pulled a pin, creating an explosion. This was the hugest explosion Deku ever saw Bakugo use in his life. It even shook Ida and Uraka for the both of them to drop off of their feet. The whole building was shaking. The explosion was so strong that everyone else in the monitor room could feel it. This was supposed to be a class. Where the hell did his brain go? Kuroshima yelled as that attack was too brutal. He could actually kill someone. Young Midoriya? Young Midoriya, All Might yelled as he was in worry of his student because that attack was head on. The smoke cleared and they could see Deku with his headband torn and his Saiyan armor was broken piece by piece. His hand was glowing with blue energy as he used it as some sort of shield to protect himself from that huge explosion. He increased his power output to 15%. One for all, 15% he went to protect himself because even him was surprised by that explosion. Deku was pissed off at the moment. Is that attack event allowed? Deku could create a huger force than that, but Bakugo used that so irresponsibly. If it wasn't him, if it was a student with a quirk not that powerful, they would have died by that attack. Look what you've done. My headband is torn and bits of my armor is broken, Deku said. Do you know how hard it is to make these kinds of models? He said while shaking. Deku couldn't believe that Bakugo had that anger management. He need to go visit someone or something because that attack was too head-on and deadly, and they were just in class. He looked at Deku as he made his way through the smoke, and his left gauntlet lit up red again because he was ready for a next attack. Come on, show me your full strength, Deku. I will force you to surrender, even if you are at 100%. Bakugo said as he made a smiling face resembling a psychopath. You're insane, Deku said bluntly. That attack went too far. Bakugo, answer me, Ida said in his earpiece. Did you do that? What in the hell did you do? This is my chance, Uraka said. If you retrieve the weapon, we will win. She decided to take it as her advantage because Ida was distracted. Ida saw Uraka going for the weapon and went on the defense. I won't let you win, hero. He went into that same villain acting pose. He hurried up and used an engine feat to snatch the weapon before she could even reach it. All Might talked through the microphone and tell Bakugo the next time he used a technique like that, he will stop the fight and their team will lose. Huh? Bakugo said. Bakugo brushed it off and didn't listen to All Might, and he charged straight at Deku, ready to attack him again. But before he contact with Deku, he blasted the ground and flipped over Deku's head and blasted Deku in the back, sending Deku right into the ground. Who slowly got back up as he was walking towards Bakugo. All Might said, I should stop them, but I don't want to stop them. All Might didn't know what to do at this moment. Bakugo now is angry at Deku and said, why won't you use your full power? I know you're still holding back. You're still not using nearly as much. Deku simply looked at him and smiled, and that pissed Bakugo off even more. Deku got pissed and said, alright, I will show you my full power. But he wasn't going to use 100%. He charged up to 25% and him and Bakugo jumped the exact same time and slammed their hand. Bakugo with a huge explosion grenade and Deku with his ki mixed with One for All at 25%. But guys, I'm gonna end right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications they posted. I'm all for now guys. Peace.